Lovely. Thank you everyone for attending the Governance Committee meeting on Wednesday the 15th of March. My name's Councillor Deborah Platt. I'm the chair of the committee and Councillor Mark Clifford is the vice chair. Please note that this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. When you want to speak, please raise your hand. When I invite you to speak, please turn your microphone on. Please turn your microphone off when you're finished. If the technology fails, I will adjourn the meeting for a few minutes to see if we can resolve the issues. If not, a new date and time will be organised. Please can everyone ensure their phones are turned to silent. We're not expecting a fire drill, so if alarms do sound, get out. Apologies, I've got apologies from Councillor Lamarinel, Councillor Sherwood is subbing, yep, and Charlotte Fitch, the independent person, and Georgia Jones from Grant Thornton. Yeah, everybody else is here, bro. Number one, minutes of the meeting of the 18th of January of the Governance Committee. We'll add those in advance. Is everything okay?
Move them, Chair.
Oh. And I thought you were going to offer us a change there. Lovely. Thank you, Councillor France. Number two, declarations of any interests. I'll not read that paragraph. We're all very familiar with it. If you've got any at any point, please shout out. Item 3, external audit progress report and sector update. This is to receive and consider the report from external auditor Grant Thornton, who unfortunately can't be here, but I think, if you got, yeah, you have information. Louise?
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, just an update that Grant Thornton have provided, and they apologise for not being here today. George is poorly. And just to say, really, with regards to the audit, we're approaching year end, 31st of March 2023, so the 22-23 statutory accounts will be being produced shortly. Grant Thornton are on with planning the audit, and at the meeting in May they expect to be able to bring a detailed plan for that. They've already held meetings with ourselves in preparation for that, and some of the planning that we will be doing at our side to assist them when they come to do their audit. The audit for 21-22 has obviously been completed, and they expect to bring their annual auditor's report, including the value for money conclusion, to the next meeting in May. An update, say, on the housing benefits subsidy audit that they undertake. They have been granted an extension by the Department of Work and Pensions, and that should be completed. They are on track to complete that by the 31st of March. And then the rest of the report are references to issues and what's happening in the general audit market. There has been a national local government external audit procurement, and that has been completed now. So the audits for 23-24 through to 27-28 have been awarded, and Grant Thornton will continue to be our auditor for each of those annual audits. And then other points in there about just the general financial issues facing local government, and 60 councils are at risk of running out of money, I think is the title, but it's just the pressures, the financial pressures that are on the sector as a whole. So those are referenced in the report, and probably just draw your attention to page 19, which is one of the exploring the reasons for the delayed publication of audited local authority accounts. Only 12% of all accounts were submitted by the deadline of the 30th of November. That's the 21-22 accounts, so only 12% of councils were able to file audited accounts by that date. And the timetable for 21-22 is that councils would have produced their accounts by the deadline of the 31st of July and the audits completed by the 30th of November. Even though only 12% were done on time, the instruction from government is now councils only have until the 31st of May to produce their accounts, and then the auditors have got until the 30th of September to complete the audit on them. So that is going to be a very, very difficult one to achieve, and there has been a consultation put in place, and there's been a lot of responses to that consultation to say it's really not achievable in the current climate, and the difficulties for both the auditors to achieve that date and the teams to be able to produce those sets of accounts. So we're waiting to see or hear back whether there has been any movement and any concession to those dates. But at the moment, we will have 2 months left to produce the accounts. But happy to take any questions if I can answer or refer them back to Grant Thornton.
Thanks, Louise. I was just going to say, if anybody's got any questions that's really for the external auditors, we'll take those away and get them answered at a later date, probably on the email. Anyone? No? Right, just a sec, I'll have to get back to my agenda now. I'll refer to paper. Item 4, Internal Audit Plan, April 23 to September 23. Dawn?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The report you have before you sets out our internal audit plan for the period April to September. We've again adopted the same approach as we did last year, in that we're splitting the plan into 2 6-month plans. As mentioned in November, it proved to be beneficial, ensuring that our limited resources focusing on the risks facing the council at the time that we compile the plan. So we've gone through our usual process to compile a plan. We undertake our own risk assessments. We take into account the corporate plan, strategic risk registers, any operational risk registers, those sorts of things. We can do quite a wide consultation exercise, and we each consult with each director too. So the finalised plan is contained at Appendix A, and it sets out again whether what the review entails and how it fits in with the governance framework. The report also sets out how we are continuing to provide audit days to Chorley Leisure, and although we don't provide feedback on each individual review to this committee, we will include the annual opinion when we do our annual opinion report in May. The resources of the service are now stable. We've got a stable team, and details of this are included at paragraph 13, along with our performance indicators, which we're not proposing to make any changes to. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Lovely, thanks, Dawn. Anybody got any questions for Dawn? Or about the report? Or anything? No? Right. Okay, so item 5 is the Local Code of Corporate Governance, and Mr. Whelan's presenting this because Chris isn't with us. Have we got a recommendation? Sorry, recommendation at paragraph 2, page 21, that the committee approve the internal audit plan with associated indicators. Sorry, I'm skipping on before time. So back to item 4, if we can approve the internal audit plan. Yep. Yeah, I've got some nods. Yeah, and some hands, lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair. Item 5, back to Dave. Over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of the report is to update members on the outcome of a review of the Council's Local Code of Corporate Governance. It is not absolutely necessary to have a local code, but it is widely considered to be good practice. It enables an improved understanding for members, officers and the public of how the Council discharges its obligations and functions. The code is also important during the annual governance statement process. The internal control environment is tested against the local code. Our code is SIPFA compliant, but it is a document that has to be reviewed periodically, hence the reason for this review. In terms of the changes, Overall, the code is considered a fundamentally sound document. There have been no substantial changes worthy of note. The formatting and presentation of the document has improved in recent years. The changes this year relate to the update of the equalities policy to reflect the adoption of the approved equality framework. So the recommendation, Chair, is for members to approve the local code of corporate governance as set out in Appendix 8 to the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Has anybody got any questions about the code at all? Observations? Anything? No? Okay, so we are asked at recommendation at paragraph 2 to approve the local code of corporate governance at Appendix A to this report. Yeah? Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, so on to item 6, which is the RIPA application update, and over to Dave Whelan again.
Thank you, Chair. This somehow never really changes. District councils stopped using their RIPA powers for a number of reasons for many, many years ago. Chorley hasn't made any use of their RIPA powers during the relevant period, so there's nothing to report.
Lovely, thank you. Item 7 is the Governance Committee Work Programme 23-24 to receive and consider the work programme for the committee at pages 47 and 48. Skip over to that. There we go. Has anybody got any queries about the work programme at all? Changes? Updates? Okay, we've considered that and there's no changes, so we're okay with that. So item 8, any urgent business previously agreed with the chair, and I haven't had any. So I will draw that to a close. Goodbye, everyone.